everybody, it is Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, sporting a side ponytail, because side hairstyles are now happening. Sorry that we were a little bit late. We had some craziness going on before. This is Green World Part 4. John's still got a couple of technical things to do because we found out some more glitches in signing out and signing back in. So he's going to get those resolved. I'm going to visit with you for a sec while we do. But this will be the section of 4 where we resolve all the middle ground and most of the water leaving the grass for our last get together. Green World Part 4. It's good to see you. It's so good to see you. I'm going to sip my tea and enjoy this night. It's so good to see all the patrons. Why I'm on fast forward.
Just do this section.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, they've seen you put out paint.
They have, but
Don't worry.
you just got to pause it so that I can, that's Cerulean.
Don't worry,
I put out ultramarine, burnt sienna, Mars black, phthalo green, cad yellow, titanium white, and zinc white so far. And I guess there's a drop behind my side pony. I might need to be in the middle or something, babe.
Yeah.
Just move me towards the middle.
Yeah, I'm going to get you slid around here.
I went to adjust the painting and didn't. So I'm mixing a little bit of my, interestingly enough, my phthalo green, my Mars black, and my burnt sienna. I'm looking to create a very deep, dark, foresty effect. I have my number 4 round, and I'm tapping up and down, creating bush shapes. You really want to make those as regular as possible. I'm going to come in the middle of the branches and try to create shelves or little little embankments of trees or backlit trees. Sometimes when things are backlit, they will get darker. It's super important when you're doing green on green to have those values working just as much as if it was a black and white painting. Green paintings tend to be monochrome paintings with just a bit of extra oomph. So it can be a thing. I'm coming along also and detailing the tops of these trees. This is still deeply middle ground. I'm still in that middle ground mindset. Maybe in life as well as on my canvas, middle ground mindset. But they're coming forward enough that more of those details about them needs to be resolved and considered. Taking this dark color, you'll notice that I will leave bits of the trunks showing through. I leave bits of the lighter color showing through, and this is going to come in and pop it. The color above the white. So there's in the middle of the surface is titanium white. To the 3 o'clock, I guess, maybe, yeah, 3 o'clock, I think, is the ultramarine blue. And then below that is the cerulean blue. And then below that is zinc white. I'm going to come in with some more greens, and I'm creating flicking textures. Next month's big project canvas will have the side zoom involved in it. So that will be really nice. And I think we will enjoy that a great deal, to be honest. To be honest. So just continuing, you see I brought that little grasses up. So now what you can basically see is those shaded trees, bits of dim light coming through. I'm grabbing my blue and my black. I'm going to come along here and, keep working at that river, just along the river bend. Working that little river, creating shadows. And sometimes what you'll see me do is I roll the brush to get the paint down the brush. And I'm defining the rocks in the embankment by adding this blue and black shadow. The blue and black really does make a difference. It reads better than the black will, and it sometimes is subtle but integral to the way the finished piece will look. Patty Hoffman's like, I can't spell today. I can't YouTube today. I can't YouTube. It's coming along. Now I'm getting deeper black because these reflections can be quite deep, and I want to have a deeper value or sense of black going along that embankment where we're really defining it. especially where there's the mirror reflection of the reeds above and the reeds below. Along your water embankments, think about those shadows. Think about adding them. I've rinsed off. I'm going to get my pad yellow. I'm allowing a little green to get in it. I have grabbed some white, and I'm going to come here and add some little bit of sunlight. Isn't it interesting that you do a shadow on the embankment and then you do kind of a little bit of sunlight around it, and it's those combos of things that help define what's happening at your water's edge, because it really does kind of do that, give you back that nice reflection. If it is gesso, because that's the only thing listed in the description, is that gesso? Yes, that is Holbein's Cerulean blue gesso. You can do an entire painting with Holbein's gesso. They are the most pigment-loaded, refined gessos on the planet, and that was the best Cerulean blue after testing that I had in the house. Interestingly enough, isn't that crazy? I'm just like, go figure. Go figure. So just tapping my little brush along the tops, and what are we doing again? We're creating those shelves. So in the other trees, we created these deep values, but over here, we're coming in and kind of coming back to deep values that we had before and creating definition and spaces of leaves that are distinctly in sunlight, therefore creating the structure of these trees. And the structure of these trees, as you can see me stippling up and down with my cad yellow and my green, is just this really refined, it's a defined space. It's a structurally defined space. It exists in your flat surface, strangely enough, as its own zone. And that's essentially where people struggle in clouds and grass and clouds and trees, is that here we are on a flat surface and we're painting something with an unusual structure or texture and creating that illusion of it existing in a three-dimensional space while on our two-dimensional canvas. It's about creating defined segments of these irregular lights and dark. It really is. It is the battle of the green on greens. The green on green on greens. So how is everyone doing today? I'm doing good. Had a busy day. Been testing stuff all week, like all week for days and days and days and days, designing things and trying to make things go, and been doing that. And I'm excited. It's just going to make everything better. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. These changes and adaptations and improvements, are possible for, because you guys support us. We couldn't do it without you. Tapping the tops of these trees. Sorry, I'm fine. I got some tea because it's late. So I got tea. Just taking that green, lighter values coming down. You see me do that wipe and that wipe pull. I'm on my number 4 round. I'm doing the tip, 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 tap thing. Up and down, up and down. What are we doing? Tapping up and down. Tapping up and down. Tapping up and down. That's all we're doing. We're just tapping up and down. Tapping, tapping, tapping. It's not a hard pressure. Really, when you're watching me, when you're watching anyone else, pay attention to those weird moments on the palette. As instructors, sometimes you forget to tell people to roll and offload the brush, to load it back into the tip. It's such a quick movement. It's such a learned behavior that you might not think to mention it. Certainly other teachers might not think to mention it because you're so in the zone. But it's such an important part of how this is done. It's that constant taking that green off my brush and then getting it to the tip of my brush. Trisha Wood says, thank you for the painting. I feel a bit spoiled to get to visit in the last video and have to have this tonight too. Well, that's the power of being a power patron. Actually, I'm so glad you guys did that. I didn't actually expect, everyone to come to that and to this. So I'm really glad to see people who are at both here, because that was a long test. But you saw we got a lot accomplished. Like, really, honestly, it's difficult to do those things in live and have them not work. So just declaring this is a test and then finding out, no, everybody hits that lower bumper. But then, the other feedback was my hands are a lot. So maybe that's, in the intros, that's a good time to have that. I'm taking that same grain, doing that same offload technique and creating shelves over on the left side. I am. I'm holding my round just because it was like moving on me and I want it to stabilize. You'll see that I will get into a slightly darker green as I come down. It'll be lighter towards the tops and then it gets darker kind of as I come down. Just a little more green gets mixed in. And you'll see some trees are more defined in sunlight than others. So, and you guys deserve to be spoiled. You deserve it to be spoiled. I am making a very light green. Can you guess what I'm doing? Monochromatic painting. I'm going to come along the top and stipple even more slightly ephemeral defined leaves. Little dot, dot, dots. Little dot, dot, dot. Dotty, 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 dotty. Just literally painting out every leaf. You can get really, really into this. Like you can go really meta into this leaf by leaf painting. It is absolutely a thing. I really can't wait to see everybody's green worlds. What I'm hoping comes out of this is everyone coming, I understand what my challenge was in landscape. I had that a little bit. Thanks to Katie. She came back and was like, this is really helpful. But I really hoping that you guys do this project. And it's sort of like the hands when we did the hands in group where it's kind of a breakthrough. Because I think everything I do is about you guys having those breakthrough moments. I love them when I have them. I want to share them and give them out like candy to everyone. So they're very important to me. Stippling the green of the leaves. Now this French tree, that's the leftmost tree of the 3 tree siblings here on the right side, it's the most in light. And you'll see me do a very kind of unobvious thing, but it's super important to the painting, where I will focus the light to show the placing and positioning of the trees, where they are in relationship to each other and how they're breaking the sunlight. And so you'll kind of catch like how that tree's form comes into play as we go. You become aware of where the light can get to it and where it can't by that stippling. Sharon O'Brien says, these trees look 3D. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was the goal. 3D tree. You gotta have some 3D trees. We can stipple with the best of them. Round, round. But that little round, when I go round, my pressure and it's very light, I'm just loading the toe with a brush. Everything is about keeping the paint on the toe. Now, the brush, it wicks, especially this particular filament, will wick moisture and paint up into the ferrule. And so that's something that I'm always watching for with these, is just making sure that I'm keeping that toe loaded. Amanda Blacks, John, would like to know if you could zoom in a little so she could see these trees closer. Okay, now that we have the new camera that y'all facilitated us into getting, does an old digital zoom buggy just a little bit? It's in the old digital zoom. The new one is like, I'm in the bristles. I'm in them. I'm in the paint. I'm all over the canvas. It's just a whole experience. John's working on getting the little zoom feature going. He's in the wrong dashboard. Can he pause for a second while he gets that oriented? Right before the show, so we have, currently with us, we have 3 fur babies. And they all have different little things that they have going on. 2 of the fur babies are very polite, but they're very vocal. They really like to communicate. And then my fur baby, Twix, thinks that she's Buck from Call of the Wild, and every time we let her out the back door, she like feels the call, and we got to chase her. So there was a whole big chase of the Twix right before the show.
Can you rewind a little bit?
I think that wouldn't be hated. Let's rewind if we can without like breaking this. Let's go back so you guys can see this a little bit. Like we could just go back like to midway on the middle tree or something. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Look there. Let's just see this whole tree. So we're zoomed in a bit. I love the new digital zoom. It's so weird. This is like when I look at my old videos and I'm like, ugh. I see my old videos. I'm like, ugh. What's with that sound? Ugh. What's with that zoom? What am I saying? Why did you teach it that way? It's actually, I could have a whole show where I just watch my old content and yell at myself as if I can hear myself through time. I'm like, they're not going to get that. You're not explaining it right. You're going to mess with so many people. You're skipping that thing they need to know. Why don't you know to know that? Now I know. Now I know. You guys have definitely helped me grow up to be like the digital teacher. I'll tell you what, could not have done it without you. It is a two-way process. Over here, and we're going to put some light in the trees. I feel like that's a little yellow right now, but it's going to work out. Because we're trying to say, you trees are very bright light. Into the light, Caroline. That's that tree's name. Into the light, Caroline. So, Sharon says, this is very helpful. And Amanda Bleck says, thank you, John.
No problem.
John. Thank you, John. If you were there for the previous live, I put the sad ponytail on just to mess with my daughter. It may last an unknown period of time. Unless John complains, who knows how long the side pony will go. If John complains, I might consider it, but he doesn't generally weigh in on that stuff. Which I really appreciate very much. Because my dad really weighed in on all that stuff. All right, just stippling along with that bright green, and you can see that I'm not perfect in the stipple, right? Like, it's not a defined perfect little stipple. Is it showing them the computer screen every time it does that, or just me?
Just you.
Oh, thank God.
I'm looking for something. Multiple screens are worth place.
Oh, okay. Multiple screens. I'm coming back with, stop, John. It's not funny.
Doing stuff.
That's really distracting for me, and they didn't see it.
There it is.
Hard to narrate if I can't see the video.
Found the page I was looking for.
So I'm adding some shadow back, and that's an important thing to realize. John, you'll have to find me in the digital Zoom, or I'm going to come back there. Maybe.
There.
Nope.
Ooh, hold on, guys.
Pause.
I can't. The screen got. Man, told you there's.
I'm going to do a Jeffree Star and say.
I did. We did. I stopped.
Wait, let me Jeffree Star better. No. I'm going to take care of myself. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. Back up.
I may have watched that 1,000 times. Just go, what is this fool doing? What is this fool doing? Stippling on my leaves. I like it so much. Coming underneath this, adding that shadow. I'm actually having a blast painting this painting. Like, I'm humming along here. There was a soundtrack for this whole thing. The whole thing. Oh, getting in there, getting into the green. We're taking a look at the whole thing. And who knows what I'm adjusting off the thing. Let's get some more yellow. What am I gonna get something? And I'm gonna add some grassies or something. And some stipplies and some grassies. This is where I love that new angle camera. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that help to get that new angle camera. That's been great. Next lesson, we'll have the new anchor camera. It's the anchor camera. Anger.
It's the banner cam.
It is.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Add some white to that bright green color, because what do we lighten our greens with first? We lighten them with the yellow, and then we come back with some white, because we can control how the green greens up before we get the white in it, because phthalo blue wants to turn that gorgeous mint color, which is fantastic when you need it, and a nightmare when you don't. Because then your grass looks minty. You're like, my grass looks like it's, a spruce tree all over the ground. Sharon O'Brien says she loves it. Thank you, Sharon. I love it when you guys love it. I feel like y'all paint on the Patron live streams. And I feel that because it's a quiet stream. Like, the wonderful thing of getting to teach Sherpettes live is that you get to see how quiet they get when they're painting. Because I think of you guys as being a very boisterous, talking bunch. I'm adding even brighter highlights to the tops of the grass to really define it out from the bank. And as you can see, it just pops it. Yeah. you guys like are so chatty in our regular live streams. I just assumed when I would be teaching you live that I would have to like get a megaphone and be like, there it is, there it is. But no, it was like a mouse, like chirp, 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 chirp. Everybody's holding their canvas when I come closer. Like, no, don't look at it. No, you stay on the screen where you belong. Adding more grass, grass, grass. With my white and my bright green. I'm going to talk about a little of that color along that edge because it's a really nice color and it just pulls that embankment out, doesn't it? Yeah. But that white doesn't really pop till you put that first dark value in. So you see how these things interchange. Oh, John, I got the 12 Princeton out. I must be doing soft, gooey reflections.
Yeah, it's hard. I'll try to zoom in a little bit.
Okay. Princeton, I'm getting a little darker into my green, a little darker, because there is a little bit darker. So I've got to really be looking up into the trees, thinking about how is this going to read out. And you can see this brush is giving me a very soft, diffused look, which for this water effect, I really need. Just bringing it there. It does do a little bit of that foaming. You can kind of see the bubbling. I've gotten a dark green, and I'm going to bring that green in because I've got to pull that down. Notice where I'm looking where there would be shadows, and I am coming back with some of that dark green where the shadows are, and then also along that embankment. So you're going to see me really blending that and working those values together to create reflection zones inside the water. Patty Hoffman says she's eating a Tootsie Pop trying to decide to make Quinn Magenta or Diox Purple. Make Quinn. Diox Purple stains everything. Make Quinn. You got to be in a place for Diox. It's a very staining pigment. I'm getting into my dark greens, and you can see I'm really like blending up and down. I'm aggressive with it because I'm confident in what's happening, right? And it is, the brush is so soft in its effect that I don't really have to worry that much. Now I'm going to wipe off, I rinse a little bit, I'm going to get some dark green. And then even where I put a lighter color, I'll come in and define some of these shadows. Now watch me get the yellow. Watch me work. Watch me work it. Yeah. I'm going to add a highlight along the bank, and I'm going to pull them in different lengths the way that they do. And then I'm going to add some of the highlights that are up in the tree because the water is being a mirror. So it's reflecting what it sees above it. This becomes a big deal when you start painting from your imagination. You do 1,000 of these landscapes, and then you're like, if it's all pink, it still does the same thing. Modern Cat Red's like, more work for Patty. Make both. Linda Sue's, I'm laying on my reclining, foot-raising, massaging bed, drinking pineapple wine. Well, Linda, thank you for sharing. No, actually, I'm really glad she is. She just had to chase my dog outside barefoot, so this is water, not wine. I'm going to get my Cerulean, and that is my ultramarine blue, and a little of my zinc white, and then my titanium white, because I'm looking for an effect, for a very bright, light color, and it needs to be light, because this is kind of almost like a mirror, and I'm going to be coming into the green. And notice that I'm coming now horizontally into these vertical reflections. These little deviations in the horizontal space among your verticals is a big deal. I know what I'm doing right now. I'm going to put out some glazing medium because my paint is dry and it's not blending smoothly, and that's making me mad. And I sneak into my glazing medium and I go, listen up, you blend down. And look what it did. It blended down. It blended down. And I go, no. Still not blending. Blending down. The wood I painted on tonight, actually very good. I'm going to continue to add this sort of river flowing down reflection. I'm going to come here, and you can see what I mean about the mint, but where it's happening in the water here, this is good. This is what I want. These are the reflections that I'm trying to get. So that's okay. Lightening it up, blending it through. Blend. Oh, what am I doing? What did I talk about? Those horizontals. Those are weird moments in the water. They're eddies. They're fish underneath. When you see those like kind of different variants in the way the water is reflecting above it, what you're really seeing is different speeds of the water. you know, where something is maybe close to the top or there's just some different ripple out. Patty would like to know why Reno does not have pineapple wine. Yeah, Linda did actually clean out all of the ground cover. But see, it was harder because she did it with my kids. She cleaned with my kids. So my kids came in. My littlest was like, she made me work like a bloodhound, Mama. Not like a pug, like a bloodhound. It's the cutest thing. We're going to have shirts. So when you're working hard from now on, you're working like a bloodhound, Mama. I'm working like a bloodhound. I don't even know where she got that.
Fox and the Hound.
You think? Fox and the Hound?
Could be.
But it was just so perfect. It was like the little bit of Texas that maybe was left over in her. And I'm getting my glazing medium and a brighter highlight. I now have my filbert from my Raphael set. Let me see if I can find that exact brush. It's listed in your materials description. I've been washing everything lately, so sometimes I have to like dig through the collection to be like, are you here? Oh, here it is. Little filbert. You could do this with a cat's tongue or something else. This is just a very nice stiff filbert, so it worked out really well. I'm really liking from the Raphael brushes, if you're looking at them to shop, the precision and the textura. I find them comparable to the other brushes that I use, and they're okay. The reason I don't gush about brushes anymore is because sometimes I get a little frustrated with brushes for, you know, not being made to be in water and other things. So then when I do finally gush, it's going to be because it's awesome. So here I am taking, this is very important. So I'm taking this white reflection and I'm making choppy horizontal watermarks. These are little tops of the river that are moving at different speeds, getting caught on different surfaces underneath. I spend a lot of time as an artist. You spend a lot of time as an artist. I know Patty's going to get deep into this, really being in the scene, being like not just thinking about the surface of the things that you're seeing, but thinking about the environments of the things that you're seeing. It really will help you improve what you're doing if you stop and really exercise that visualization. I'm just touching the toe with this. You know, this is the precision. I'm just touching it's a very sharp brush. Just the toe, making these little kind of considered reflections, these little sparkly bits, you know, little efforts. And they're just wonderful. And it's amazing how quick these little motions, these little marks make. But knowing that they need to be there is about imagining what's under the water, the speed of the water, the wind on the water, the light on the water. What's happening there? That's what I say.
That's what you say.
That's what I say. That's what she said.
That is what she said.
That is what she said. Who's got two thumbs and is feeling cheeky? Sorry.
That's only because Scranton. It's that electric city.
We might have watched a few episodes of The Office. I am dashing. Same thing. And you can see my hand do that little thing where it's like, I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go somewhere. But what it really is, you know, observing, you know, the space and really being in the river. Be the river. Just around the river bend, you go once more. I can't sing. Linda sings. So it's not over. I'm not done.
You're still going?
I'm still going.
You're still going for a little bit?
Making dashes in the water.
12 more minutes of stuff.
I have 12 more minutes of dashes.
12 more minutes of
You're not where
water.
I am, though. You're not zoomed where I am. Oh, wait, I was going back. You're still not zoomed where I am. There I am. making that all important dash. So you can see where I made those soft reflections became that space that I came back and really refined that reflection in the surface. And this energy in the water becomes the movement in what would be a still and stagnant river, but for these. So when you're thinking about references and what you want to paint, right? When you're looking at your photos, when you're looking out in nature, what you want to paint, be aware that sometimes things are perfectly beautiful in the eye or in a photograph, but in a painting lack the structure to really capture the viewer. Right? And we want to connect some of that motion as it will in the river, just around the bend. Look, I actually have it just around the river bend. Do it with me. Just around the river bend, I go once more. I'm getting some yellow on my brush, and I'm getting some orange on there. I'm getting some yellow and some orange together. So what I do is I take that cad red, and I get a little red into my yellow, so my yellow isn't such a stop sign bus color. I don't say that on the show, but what I'm really doing is saying this yellow is just a stop sign bus color. Mm-hmm. And that's going to make my green not cute. So I just can't have that. But then I don't want people not to buy cad yellow because they're like, it's a stop sign bus color. I'm on the precision still. This bad boy here by Raphael. It's a number 10. See what I mean about brushes being like, this is my cat's tongue number 8. And this is their precision number 10. Our sizes are ridiculous. This is ridiculous, redonkulous, silly beyond all reason. Doing my little upward strokes. Stroke upwards. Stroke upwards. I might have actually done the 6. I think I actually did the 6 on this one. It feels dirty. It's in your list. It's in your list. I keep records.
You keep the records?
Notice that these strokes are very, very energetic. They're like, up into that. I want to break that dark line. That's super critical to me at this point. I'm like a sports announcer. So she's coming around the bend. She's going to want to break that dark line. She's bringing it up. You know, the grass and shadow thinks they're going to get the better of her, but she says no. She's got a plan. She comes around the sides, flicks the grass up. Coming in, she reloads and comes around the side, continuing the flicking thing. The shadow has no chance at all. We don't even see her. She's off the screen. She has a home run. She's painted grass. Are you looking at me? This is when everyone goes, unsub. No hands. Oh no! Looking upwards. I'm fine. Everything is okay. Everything's all right. Thank you to the 15 people that are still here. Yeah. You have to wonder, like, if someone's going to be watching this later and they're like, that woman.
What was she thinking?
I was thinking that'd be funny. We need some laughter, right? Like, we need some laughter.
What were you doing over here? Oh, you were thinking.
I'm thinking.
Getting a different brush.
I'm getting some yellow and orange together, and I'm going to get a little white into it, but mostly I want yellow and orange. I don't want to make a skin tone. And I'm just trying to lighten it. And then I get into the green, neutralize it. I love orange in my green. Now I've got this green that's just a little bit, and you're going to see something amazing here because this is going to really pop. I'm using my number 1 detail brush in the Art Sherpa line. Number 1 detail, number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. Number 1. And I'm making little dots, little motions. These are the tops of little grasses. It's like there's a bit of a dot to it, and there's a bit of a pull down on that stroke. And this is about capturing you know how grass gets the top little seeds going and they're in the wind and they're just blowing. So I'm in the grass. I'm being the grass. Be the grass with me. When you're painting, I'll be that. Not only is that helpful, but it also confuses the people who live with you deeply. Mm-hmm. And they need it, right? They need to be on their toes. You don't want them to take you for granted. They don't know you. They don't know all about you yet. Little upward stroke. So that is a touch of cad red into my cad yellow with my green. Touch of cad red. Sharon O'Brien says, I find that my grass blades tend to be thicker than I like. Too often I end up with a blobby mess, even when I use a point. I so have a program coming up for you, Sharon. You're going to love it. It's about grass and fixing that exact problem and all the grass problems that you could have.
All the grasses.
But then I keep saying yes to collabs and programs and things. And I'm at the point where I'm like turning this stuff down because I'm like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. It does help. Try it though. And try it like when you're in the toe of your brush. Be like, see if it helps you, because sometimes I think sometimes we educate ourselves wrong. I think these things, the modality of sound and the imagination, I think that these are actually important parts of how we learn stuff. Oh, moderator Cad Red has a suggestion. Try craft paint, Sharon, or soft body. Thinner paints make it easier. So that is a very good suggestion. We have a whole series on this. A really good video is the Technique Tuesday lines, fine lines, how to get fine lines. And it's a whole video on how to get fine lines, and we cover all of that.
You streaked it.
Yep. I streaked it. Just going upwards, going upwards, going upwards.
Getting a different brush.
In a different brush. I'm back into my precision. Licking. They're not kidding about these. These brushes do have a terrific edge. Like a terrific edge. So I like that as well. I'm adding some fluid medium. I'm adding my golden glazing medium. And again, I'm coming in and adding. I'm wondering, I bet Cat Red is trying to find a link to that video, which is Fine Lines for Technique Tuesday. To narrow it down. Fine Lines for Technique Tuesday. Might be able to find it. I'll drop it in group. Honestly, we should probably do a watch party of all the Technique Tuesdays in the Patron group. You know, just like put it on for a whole day, because then you guys will have the playlist, and that's I think one of my better programs for just core stuff. I gotta kind of revisit it and repurpose it for the YouTube channel. Gotta do it.
Got to do all the things. Do you know what I'm gonna do after this?
I don't know.
Seal the basement some more.
No.
Because you know what?
What? You don't want to flood?
Water.
You don't want to flood. Thank you, Modcad Red. I really appreciate you getting that link. We'll plan like a Sunday where we just put all those videos on.
See, I don't want to.
Or I guess we could do it on Tuesday and just be literal.
Tuesday?
Just, how I'm creating highlights as we come closer through the grass. We're building up depth. Grass is really about finding those deep values and shades. You got to blow wind through it. It has to be in motion. It's a very active plant, and then, trying to make sure that it's casting shadows. There has to be places for the rodents to hide from the big giant hawk that lives up in the tree that wants to eat it. You got to make room for that. Oh, thank you. I look at moderator Thalo Blue. She's like, I has the link.
Thank you for the linking.
Linking is a gift. Linking is a gift. Linking is a gift. There we go. And we're just pulling down that highlight. Pulling it down. Here's all the Technique Tuesdays. Done. It's a dance off.
It
It's a
is.
link off. So good. So good. I wonder what would happen on the channel, John. I've made a very light yellow mix. It's got just a hint of green in it, but it's just a very light yellow. And I'm going to dot the tops of these grasses to create little bits of, again, seed pods and flowers and distant things that we need. Sharon O'Brien's like, I definitely need new glasses. Glasses help. They for sure help. They for sure help. But just no grasses, it's a challenge for like everybody. Getting here is definitely a journey. I'm going to add some of those refined lines into that reflection so that those spaces feel integrated into each other. Anyways, what would happen if we ever did like a test stream where we like let you DJ and you just played all our favorite music and we just tested stuff? Like, what would happen?
I don't know. It'd be pretty
What would
cool.
it do? Would it like take it down or just demonetize it or just co-monetize it or?
I have no idea. We could try it once.
We should try it once. Should we try that once to see what would happen if we just painted and put on really cool music and John like DJ'd and we just listened to some Macklemore, some Caravan Palace and like got down and we're like, we're going to just groove and paint together.
Huh, yeah, we could probably do that.
Watery Sailor Blue. Up and down, up and down, up and down.
Well,
Up
we'll
and
try
down.
doing something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll see. Because it may do all sorts of crazy things.
Getting
We'll
my
find out.
blue, my ultramarine blue. It's so crazy that I can tell my ultramarine blue is my ultramarine blue. And I'm creating a glaze and I'm going over the water with it. And it knocks it back. And boy, does that throw it into reflection zone. Because water often will be a shade or a value darker than the sort of stuff above it. So I like to just paint it exact and then knock it back with the glaze. Isn't that an awesome trick?
Glaze it.
Glaze it. Just yell that randomly at someone. Glaze it. Like, I don't know what to do. Glaze it. That feels zinc it.
Mm.
When glazing
I think you're
feels
almost done
zinc
here.
it. I think
Hold
I
on.
am almost done.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, that was it. So
So
this
let's
has
see
been
here.
a lovely, lovely project. We'll definitely do a watch party on this. Is tomorrow Tuesday? We'll throw it up there for Tuesday just to be ironic. It'll just play all day. No, we're not going to watch it.
What's
We're just
that?
going to put it in group. I'll put a watch party up on the Patreon group
Okay.
of All Technique Tuesday. And then you guys can see that.
Tuesday.
And literally 99% of the questions that I get asked are covered by that playlist. Why I did it on Facebook, I will never know. It felt like a good idea at the time. It was not. And now that hair color is so old, and if I put it on the YouTube channel where it would actually be useful, people are going to get really confused because they're going to be like, your hair's a different length and it's a different color. And nobody ever immediately goes to the idea that it might be an older video that we resurfaced in some way. They just think I did my hair.
Hmm.
And I'm about to do a big hair thing anyway soon because I have to change. I don't know. I get bored with myself. Like you do. Oh, I like it. Is Kevin going to come bother me again?
He could.
Could Kevin come and...
Let's see here. I have to figure out where Kevin could hang out.
If he comes this way, then I know to look that way.
Well, let me see here.
Yeah.
Because what I have to do is I have to go make
But
sure.
if you go that way, you're going to... This way and this way and That's a workout.
I gotta go this button.
Actually, that's a good idea.
Then make sure this button is there. Of course, that has to go
Patron
there.
videos.
And that can go there.
Just
Then
for
this
you.
can go there. There.
Clearly just
there.
for you. Not held and then released at YouTube later, but yours.
And then.
Belonging to you. Kevin, how are you doing today? I'm so glad to see you. It's really nice. Thank you for coming to our Patreon live stream. You know we only have one of these left, Kevin? Be Kevin. You be Kevin. You be the voice of Kevin.
Me?
Yes. Do
Kevin
Kevin
doesn't have a voice.
That's right, Kevin. You always want a puppet. You should just... Kevin, I hear that you're excited about the very last episode of Green World. Yeah? Me too. I'm super excited because it really comes together and the whole last part is grass. Do you like grass, Kevin? Yeah, he does. He likes it. Uh-oh. We're upsetting the dog, Kevin. All right. So, Kevin, I want you to be good to yourself. Be good to your fellow Krakens. I want to see you at an easel really soon, and I want to see all you patrons at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.